Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga with Janet. I'm Janet and I'm going to take you through a nice luscious yin practice, which is one of my favorite little sequences that I do regularly. So today we're going to focus on finding space, specifically in the front of the body, but also just the idea of space between one thing and the next, so that we can start to live a little bit more in the in-between moments, not skipping anything, and creating this foundation for living mindfully with a little less reaction and a little bit more thoughtfulness. So we're going to start with a little bit of breathing. You will come into little virasana. So you'll need a bolster for this practice. You're going to bring the bolster between the ankles and then sit back down and prop yourself up as much as you need to, so that you can be relaxed in the hips. Hips above the knees is a really good place to begin, so that you still have a nice amount of blood flow. And then just close your eyes. We're going to begin with Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathing. You're going to bring your pointer and middle finger to the base of the thumb. Good. And we'll be breathing in through one nostril, out through the other, and then in through the same, out through the other. And the idea of creating a little bit of space, but also rhythm in the breathing. Exhale, empty the lungs. Inhale, lift your hand. Close the right nostril with the thumb. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close left with ring finger. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Continue with your own rhythm. Just a few more rounds. You'll end with an exhale on the left. And then release your hand down. Notice the breath enter through the nostrils And exit smoothly and calmly. And just observe already the space that you've created. Simply elongating the breath has this ability to soothe and, more importantly, to slow down. I'm going to begin with half saddle. And so you'll just release your left foot, and the right foot stays tucked under. So the heel is just outside of the hip and the knee points directly forward. And so this could be plenty for you. Otherwise, you can begin to bring your fingertips back. And to begin, you'll tuck the tailbone under and then release down. So that'll find a deeper stretch in the front of the thigh. So the target area is the quadricep and then into the psoas, into the lower belly. And for yin, you want to go somewhere around 60 to 70% intensity. So it's not a real deep stretch. We're going for duration over the depth. And for every posture that we enter, we're going to layer in the breath awareness. And of tapping into this inner method and having a point of focus to anchor us throughout the practice. So you can continue with that nadi shodhana, but mentally. So mental alternate nostril breathing. As a technique to focus the mind, but also slow down. If you're quite content here and you have kind of no stress or issues, you can lay down fully or bring anything else to support underneath your back. An option to take the hands behind you, grabbing opposite elbows. And then that's just an option. Otherwise, you'll stay where you are so you can sustain the posture with that even, steady breath. If the mind wanders, come back to mental alternate nostril breathing. If you need to retuck the tailbone, you're welcome to. Notice if your mind goes to the sensation that's happening in the body, and if you can pull your attention back to the breath. 3 more deep breaths. If you have the alternate nostril, you'll continue until you have an exhale on the left. And slowly make your way up. And you can sit upright first, and you might feel that little bit of pressure come off of the knee. And then slowly release the right leg. Good. You move really slow. And you can extend the leg long, the other leg. And just feel a little bit of life flowing back in. Sensation dissolves as the blood flows in. Prana flowing in. And this is so important to notice the transitions. To not speed up to what's next, but be exactly where you are. In that way, you create space. A little bit tingly. Okay, we'll move to the other side. So you'll tuck your left foot under now. And you can take a few moments just to be there. And then you'll take your tailbone, lift it up, little pelvic thrust, and release it down. Give yourself the time to enter in and to set up. This is giving yourself the space so that you can be present, not rushing. When we rush, we don't act mindfully. We are just reacting to what's happening around us. And we miss a whole lot. If you'd like, you can make your way further down, laying down, grabbing opposite elbows above the head, if that feels good. Or staying exactly where you are. Layer in the breath. So you've given yourself time to transition in, to set up, create space. And now you make it even more expansive by breathing consciously, but comfortably. You can take mental nadi shodhana, mental alternate nostril breathing, or simply using the breath as an anchor. I find that this saddle, half saddle, really promotes a sense of well-being. And when I think of well-being, I think of spaciousness, well-rounded, not constricted, not stressed. Almost like there's a little bubble around you. And as you walk through the world, you're a bit cushioned. Which is good. Our practice creates a sense of cushioning. And so we're not as, someone can't press our buttons as easily. And when we have this sense of cushioning around us, we have a sense of well-being and wholeness and stability. And come back to the breath. Take 5 deep breaths. Slowly lift back up just to seated. And you exit just as thoughtfully as you enter, because it sets the tone for what's next. And so just release your left leg long. And the right leg long. And maybe a little windshield wiper side to side. That feels good. And you feel that life flow back in. sometimes by restricting something for a period of time, we can ultimately then make more space as we open it back up. We can feel that sense of freedom and flow. And we realize how good things really are. And come onto the belly. So you can move the bolster or pillow just to the side, and you'll just come down. Make a pillow with your hands, stacking the hands and forehead down. And so this is your little crocodile. And what we're looking for is a little bit of extension in the back. And so this may be plenty if you feel a little bit of pressure in the low back. It's not a bad thing. Just a little bit of extension here and compression. And so you can stay, or you can, the next level, I don't like the word level, but the next little phase is bringing the bolster under the belly and the forearms forward. So you have a bit of support under the chest, and that is going to take you into more of an extension, the lower back, so a little bit more compression. And if this is just fine for you, you can also remove the bolster. Remove the pillow and come right into the Sphinx. Elbows underneath the shoulders. And if you have a block or something, you can bring that under the forehead and support for the brain and the skull. Otherwise, you can just let the head hang and get a little bit of release in the back of the neck. Let the legs soften, let the glutes soften. Let the shoulders soften and the neck soften. Rather than tensing up, as you soften, there's a sense of spreading and spaciousness that's created. Come back to your breath. So we're just going to layer in now our half frog. And so you'll take your left leg out to a 90-degree angle. So the knee comes out of the hip and the heel is in line with the knee. So 90-degree angle in the knee. And in this world and be supported and spacious. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. And then slowly release the leg. You're going to come onto your belly again. And just a little bit of a rebound, creating that space between each side. You can bring a little pillow onto the forehead and soften. Being in the in-between moment. The in-between moments are what make up our lives. So if we can be in them, we can feel a deeper sense of presence. Come back onto the forearms, if that's how you did your little half frog. And you'll take your right leg now out to that 90-degree angle in the knee. And we'll just start here for a minute or so, a couple minutes. Close the eyes and relax everything to melt. Think of an ice cube melting. As it melts, it oozes and expands. It becomes spacious rather than restricted. And that's what we want. We want to be able to flow like water through life. Flexible, unbothered. we're going to layer in our little beach pose. You're going to come onto your left elbow and shoulder, and right hand to right hip, just to stack the right hip on top of the left. And then reach your right hand back, and you'll find your foot. And you can just stay right here for the first handful of breaths, and then you'll have that option to transition onto the back. Allow the right shoulder to fall open and the head to be heavy in your hand. Allow yourself to be supported. Soften the muscles. Come back to your breathing, your anchored breath. Maybe that mental nadi shodhana, if that is valuable. And so if you are quite comfortable here, you can scoot your left shoulder underneath you and roll onto your back so your right shoulder comes down. And you might get more into the outer hip, more into your psoas line. You can stay with the beach one. Take 3 more breaths. And slowly release the foot. Release the leg long and just come back onto your forehead, belly. A moment to rebound and to give you space and to feel the effects of your practice. Time for reflection and integration. And slowly, you're going to come onto your back for Savasana. So, you can bring a pillow underneath your knees, lay onto your back, and just first hug your knees into your chest. So we've done a lot of opening the front lines of the body. Just give yourself a little hug, pulling it all in. And then release the legs. Can release your arms. Draw the tailbone under. Feel the chest expand. And give yourself permission to rest in this spaciousness. You can stay here and bask in this space for as long as you like. Rise when you're ready. Reach your arms above your head and take a big stretch. Release your hands, hug your knees into your chest. And just roll to your right side. creating space in the transition. There's no rush. Slowly come up and find a comfortable seat. Bring your hands into your heart. It's this acknowledgement and gratitude towards your practice.